Knowing or having knowledge of what your enemies are going to do to you before they do it to you. How would you feel about that? Let's talk about that. Yeah. Good morning, beautiful people. It is Thursday. Can we say Thursday? I knew you could. Just a little announcement. We're having Thursday night Bible studies here at 300 Gale Street at my house. The book of Daniel, we just started, so men come to the Bible study. There's a women's Bible study at the church building. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be how to live life in a Babylonian world. And we'll talk about that there. Dean Neary is leading that. So the book of Daniel for the guys over there, they're talking about the book of Esther. So, okay. So knowing that your enemies and what they're going to do before they do it, how would you feel? Well, a lot of people say, well, I would stop them. I would, counteract. I would maybe take revenge before they took revenge. But when we read this in Matthew chapter 5, verse 43 and 44 and on, we're going to do it in two sections, about your enemies. I'm telling you, Matthew 5, 6, and 7, the Sermon on the Mount really is like the foundation before the cross came in. How Jesus was saying, look, these are the commandments, but I'm telling you, it's a heart issue. And check this out. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say, this is what Jesus was saying, but Jesus said, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Now, if we want to be totally different from the world, I mean, absolutely phenomenally different. First of all, you have to have Jesus to be different because we can't do it as a human. Second of all, loving your enemies. I mean, just stop there and think about that. Loving your enemies. Then we read in 1 Corinthians 13 what real love is. And we can look towards Jesus, what real love is. Serving your enemies. Helping them in their time of need. Praying for them. Not rejoicing when they fall. Being there to help your enemy. Now, if that's not different, if that's not totally countercultural, then I don't know what is. So he's saying here, look, love your enemies. Now, why would Jesus have the authority to say this? Well, first of all, he was God. And second of all, he knew beforehand that he was going to be crucified. And he still loved his enemies. He still preached to them. He still was kind to them. He still was performing miracles. And then you get down to the nitty-gritty. When we are sinners without Jesus, we're called enemies of God. And yet he still brings the sun. He still brings the rain. He still brings the moon and the stars. He still blesses us with food and crops and food and clothing. Even the people who hate God altogether, they still have blessings from him. He's made everything. So if Jesus can love his enemies, and we were once enemies until we became a Christian, because Jesus can't be around sin, so if God can do that for us, if God can forgive us, God can be patient and peaceful with us and love us as a godly love, then why aren't we doing that for our enemies? Here's where Christianity gets to the nitty-gritty, to the rubber meets the road. And it gets deeper here too. So tomorrow we'll talk about the rest of the scriptures here. My encouragement for you today, are you loving your enemies and praying for them? If not, Let the Holy Spirit convict you and get with it. I love you. Jesus loves you too. You have a great Thursday. Goodbye. Get with it.